It's the 19th edition of the report. The Ebeltoft Group has been tracking the trends and innovations in the retail industry for the past 2 decades and even more before this report was launched. So welcome everybody. This webinar has also media partners. Our media partners are Wiadomości Handlowe, a portal devoted to the retail industry in Poland, and SCF, the Shopping Center Forum, mainly the portal and conferences mainly focused on retail property. So thank you for covering this webinar, and I will start with the agenda and the presentation of the speakers today. So our speakers will be Fabrizio Valente from Kiki Lab in Italy. Fabrizio will present the content of the report, and then later in the discussion we'll also have Lex Hack from a company called Q&A from the Netherlands. The Ebeltoft Group is a global alliance of retail consultancies and research agencies, and we've been tracking retail innovations and trends for many years. Today we will present the highlights of this year's report, structured into 3 main themes: innovations for a better world, innovations for hyper efficiency, and innovations for the enhanced experience. After the presentation, we will have a discussion with our guests, Fabrizio and Lex, then a Q&A session, and some final information: what's next, how you can receive more content from both the Ebeltoft and Inquiry as the company. Important note: if you have any questions, please type them into the chat session. Our team member will collect the questions, and as time allows, we will answer as many as possible. But please use the chat option for communicating your questions to the team. So, who's the Ebeltoft Group? A global alliance of retail experts and a group of companies that work together on a variety of topics. The companies come from more than 20 markets, from Australia to the UK and from China to Brazil, including Poland. Inquiry, the Polish member, has joined the Ebeltoft Group already a few years ago. So for today, we have Fabrizio presenting the cases from Kiki Lab in Italy. You will find more about Kiki Lab at the web link here. Then Lex Hack from Q&A in the Netherlands, and your host today, Agnieszka, myself. I'm the president of Inquiry, the research agency specialized in the retail industry in Poland. And again, for Q&A and Inquiry, you have the web links. So now over to Fabrizio. He will present the not all the 52 cases, the highlights of the report. You will receive the report after the webinar. Over to you, Fabrizio.
Okay, thank you very much, Agnieszka. I'm sharing my presentation. Do you see it? Yes? Okay, perfect. So Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to stay here with you and to share with you what is our very important research. We've been working now for almost 20 years, and every year uh, updating the trends and updating the cases. Let's start with the point of innovation, for a better word. We know that this issue is more and more important in most countries. I don't know actually in Poland, it will be perhaps also an issue that we can discuss after the presentation. But what we know that actually we have a big concern about saving the world. And when we call the world and the sustainability is not just about the environment, it's also about the people. So now it's very important to remember that we are talking about the three P's that are the planet, that are the people, and that is also the profit. So how is possible being a profit organization to do something good for the profit in a sustainable way? Let's start with some example. This is very interesting example coming from Canada. It's Good Food. Good Food is actually is a delivery system and was being launched by this young lady. She has a brother that you can see in the picture with some neurodiverse problems. It's a kind of, it's autistic situation or Asperger syndrome. This kind of syndromes that are, of course, some problems for people, but when they are not heavy, they will not prevent people to work. The problem is that our societies are not ready to accept these people to work in the business. So this lady was starting a new business since, like everybody, there was a booming of the delivery system. She was launching a delivery project that was sustainable. First of all, because it's a system that don't use private cars, but it's a delivery only either on foot or either on public transportation, and they arrive to be very sharp on time with consignment. So it is very well accepted. If you go to Google, the rating is almost 5 stars. It's 4.9 stars of customer satisfaction. And so this is something very interesting because it's a new way of approaching delivery system in town, and all the employees are people that have some neurodiverse problems. So it is also inclusive way of helping people that usually find difficulties to find job. And by the way, as you can imagine, there are quite a few customers that prefer to use Good Food also because they are helping us to improve the quality of the society and of the environment. Let's move from Canada to US. And this is interesting because this is a picture of the new case I'm going to present. That is, I'm sorry, that is Beanstar. Beanstar is actually helping the environment because all you can see here are new products, new valuable and brand products. We have from clothes to consumer electronics, any kind of products from brands that are less known to brands like Apple. We are Apple products within these boxes. What is the problem? It is that every year almost 5,000 tons of products are going to the bins because they are out of the market. All the version of the products or other kind of situation. For instance, there is also the returns from e-commerce that are, of course, also more and more frequent. And in many cases, in these cases, the products goes to the bins. So this organization, this startup starts to collect all these products and then to sell them with a very interesting way. All the assortment is changing every week. And the first day of the week, that is the Saturday, every product there is just one price, and the price is $19. Then the price goes down every day from Saturday, going 15 Sunday, and so on until Friday, $2. And the end of Friday, everything is out and the new products are coming with people queuing outside because, as you can imagine, you can buy the first day for $19, perhaps a smartwatch by Apple. So you can have very, very interesting success. And of course, a very important part is the integration with social media. In social media, they are caring about social media and they are outlining which are the best occasion of the week that have been sold. So in this case, you can see a product that was a retail price 280 that was sold or just for $19. Let's move to Europe. And let's move to this case, a giant, because this is interesting. Our report is not just presenting some startups, successful startups, but of course we monitor also the big groups what are doing. And so let's shift to Zara. I'm sure that you know Zara, this giant of the Inditex group from Spain and now everywhere in the world. And they launched and tested first in England in 2022 a platform for helping customer to sell and buy among them second-hand goods sold from the Zara brand. So actually this is interesting because in this case Zara is becoming a facilitator. A facilitator, that means that she is investing money because she has created the platform and also she's helping the customers for publishing all the posts with the products and helping them about the conditions. So this is interesting because, but in the end, Zara is not becoming part of the business. It's just facilitating, helping people that are Zara customers to sell some of their apparels and buy some other second hand. Also very important that in the same time, Zara is collaborating with local partners also for donation. So people that want just to give for free their products, they can do it, and they have a channel for doing it. And also, this is very, very important because we know that the first step for a good world, a better world, is not just to recycle, but it's to reuse. So it's important also the reparation service. And the platform is also offering this kind of service for the customers, reparation of the Zara products. Let's talk also Poland. I think it's very important. I was in Poland the first time quite recently for a meeting with Agnieszka, the inquiry group, and all our Ebeltoft group. It was in November 2022, and I found a country that was really surprising me for some excellence in retail. One of these is Impost, that actually probably you know it. It's a big player with this business of the parcel lockers. That it is interesting because it's very convenient. You can go there in night every day to take your packaging that you have been purchasing online with a mobile system, very efficient. But also they are working a lot for the sustainability because they are developing the possibility of reuse the card box packaging. They have got this eco box from recycled packaging. They are actually reducing a lot the emissions, CO2 emission in urban areas compared to direct home delivery. So of course it's a system that helps the quality of the air and of the planet. This is some more information. So the eco return is the opportunity is, of course, to use these centralized lockers in a very simple way in order to avoid the door-to-door delivery that is much more consuming CO2. They are using sustainable and reusable packaging, and also it's interesting. They have these Appcomat that are lockers without screen, but they are just managed by the app of your phone. It also is saving, of course, energy and resources. So this was a very quick going into the trend of working for a better world. As you have seen, it's interesting because we got startups, but also we got some important players going this direction. And I think that it's a big trend. You will tell us how is the situation in Poland, but possibly it's not so a priority such in other countries, but for sure, if not, is coming also in Poland. Second trend is innovation for hyper efficiency. Time is becoming more and more pressure for all people. I'm sure also in Poland, everywhere, it's more and more important. We are hiring, we are lots of things to do in our everyday life, in our business, in our private life. So when we are approaching a retail, for the retail process, decision making, find what we are looking for, what we need, it's more and more important to find retailers that are helping us to be quicker from one side and simpler on the other side. Simplicity is becoming more and more important for people in an either complex world. So let's start from US. And this is Sweet Green. Sweet Green is a fast, healthy restaurant chain that has launched a new system for this salad bowl that is almost completely automatic, done by some robotic system. So the customers are coming or from home or from the mobile, they are doing their order on the screen. They are composing a customized bowl of salad. You can see here in the wall all the different products that are vegetable, fruit, and all the healthy ingredients. And you do your combination on the screen. And here we can see actually how does it work. You put your name, you put a combination, the system is working automatically, deciding and pushing the right amount of products for the bowl of different ingredients. And also it's interesting because it events a theater. People are looking at this very strange way of composing your bowl of salad. And what is interesting that in the end, there is a final touch of a human being. And I think it's also important. The human being is controlling the final result, something like avocados, you can do it just by hand, not with the robotics. And then the employees are going to give this product to the customers. So, of course, in this case, you must partner with some expert companies. Sweet Green is partnering with Spice, that is a robotic company, and you can, in this case, then have the orders, you have the associates, then the conveyor belt that is preparing everything, final touch with the employees. And of course, as you can imagine, we are investing in robotics, but we are saving a lot of labor costs because labor here is reduced very much compared to the classical process. Let's move now back to Europe, to France, and another big player is Carrefour. I think you know them. It's the biggest, I would say, in Europe, food retailer from France, and they've been working quite intensively with technologies, with artificial intelligence. Launching recently a new system that is OPLA. It's a kind of personal assistant that is actually integrating artificial intelligence with GPT-4, so the last frontiers of artificial intelligence. And what is doing OPLA? Many things, for instance, is helping. We can see here in this small video the customer is asking to speak English. Yes, of course, we can speak English. How are the ingredients to make the Italian pesto pasta? And Opla is answering with the products and immediately proposing you to buy these products with the e-commerce system. So it's very efficient. You have something in your mind that you would like to cook, and in a few seconds, you can decide to buy all the ingredients, and now with the quick delivery you can get all the ingredients to your home very quickly to prepare. And of course you can get also information about what is the way of cooking the recipe. But also Opla is doing some other things like the other way around. You can ask Opla to get suggestion for what you get into your fridge. So you can say, Opla, I've got in my fridge some meat, some sauce, some other things. What could I do with these ingredients? And Opla is giving you suggestion. This is interesting because it's also reducing the waste of food, because we have also in our Western countries and developed countries the problem of having some fresh food that is staying too long in the fridge, and then in the end we have to throw it away. But in this way we can use it, getting a suggestion from Opla. It's interesting also that Carrefour is instructing Opla to prefer sustainable recommendation. That means between different products to propose the local products, the more healthy products. And this is something that is, of course, consistent with the values of Carrefour that are now going into the direction of a better alimentation for people. Um, let's let's go back to Spain. In Spain, Decathlon, that is a French company, and I'm sure you know them. I'm sure that also in Poland, Decathlon is present. It's now in many European countries, and they are really big innovators on different areas, of course, on the products. So you know that they have launched more than 60 brands, each for specific sports, having not just a very good relation between quality and price, but also innovating in each category of sport with new products. And now it is experimenting in Spain, this retail lab that is actually a place where all the new features are experimented. So it's a small stores in which, for instance, there is they are testing a self-assisted click and collect system. That means that you order online, you go in the store to find your products, and then you don't need to go to an employee, but there is just a very quick and simple system with a scan and go. So you just scan your QR code and you receive your products very quickly. Or you can see the other picture. It's a new system in order to compare the feature of different products. So you just take your shoes you want to try. This is good for Agnieszka, that is actually a mountain fan. So I'm sure that Agnieszka, you could go in Madrid and try this system for you. Could be very useful. And on the screen, you get all these kind of feature and characteristics of each model, so you can decide very quickly and with all the information that you know. And there are some other things that they are experimenting. So it's actually kind of lab where the company is testing new solution, and after testing, rolling out all this solution to the chain. Um, let's see some Polish example in the area of hyper efficiency. I was really struck by this Czapka. I don't know if I pronounce it right. Czapka Nano concept. I'm sure you know it because now it has been launched since 3 years. There are quite a few around. I was visiting one in Warsaw, and it's a new kind of concept that are spreading all around Europe. Just to let you know, in Italy, we have this kind of system coming just a few months ago. So in this case, Poland was very much more innovator than the Italian market. Italian market, of course, is a big market. We have big players, but big players were waiting to test this kind of innovation. And this is interesting because, as you know, there is not employees. It's a completely system with cameras and sensors that are actually controlling for charging the customers with the products they are is leaving at the store. I have to say that I was testing your system in Poland. I could have some advice for improve it, but it's perhaps in the discussion we can have this issue. But of course, I mean, innovation is important. And of course, when you are innovating, not everything is working 100% from the beginning. It's important also to be quick and to start, and then also to try and learn. So to improve innovation on the way, listening to customers, observing what's happening, analyzing data, so understanding what is working well, what we must perhaps change or fine tune. Another very interesting concept is EOBOVI. I was really impressed by this case, and this case, you know them, I'm sure, starting in 2006 with e-commerce, now becoming a giant of e-commerce, working in 25 countries in Europe, with shoes, a huge assortment, more than 100,000 products, 60 brands, more and more efficient delivery, almost all deliveries within 24 hours. And very interesting, like from starting from Amazon, we have learned a lesson that you cannot think of being successful just with e-commerce. Because I will tell you something, the future of the retail in the world is not the e-commerce, but also the future of the retail in the world are not the stores. The future of retail in the world is for companies, and I'm sure that most of you are going this direction, that are able to combine e-commerce and stores. This is the clue. So if you are starting with e-commerce, you must open stores. And of course, if you are starting with stores, you must go on digital and on e-commerce. And in this case, they were starting in 2017. So now it's 7 years with the first store, and they are now developing a chain of stores. They have 35 stores. After Poland, they went to Czech Republic. I was recently working in Czech Republic in Prague last week, and I was also visiting their store in Prague. And the interesting thing that you know that you don't have the traditional way of the stores because you don't have shoes or boxes in the store. You have just screens on the table, screens on the couches, and you've got employees that are just bringing you what you are ordering from the screens, or also from your mobile if you are arriving there, and a very efficient system because they know the logistics. So here, of course, the warehouse is much more bigger than the store because they are stocking a lot of products. But in this way, also the store is more and more friendly, is more and more kind of a luxury hotel boutique lounge. So it's much more also different experience. And by the way, the picture on the right, it was me that was shooting this picture. And I like to show it to you because it's not just something for young people, for millennials or Gen Z. we've got, and I saw personally in the store a lot of boomers like me, my age, and even older than me, going in the store using this system like this couple very happily and very easily. So this is actually something you should be proud, because this system is very innovative. It's the first time in the world that was implemented, and it was so successful that, as you probably know, the group was launching the brother system for apparels. So Modivo, that is replicating the system for the apparel the same way. So this very nice lounge with screens, and then also applied in this case to the changing rooms that are automatically refilled. So customers are just going to the changing rooms to find what they want to try before deciding if buying or not. And by the way, I will tell you something. I was in Dubai last year, and I found that the group has had a partnership with the Middle East group for opening a new concept in Dubai using the Erbowi know-how about this kind of process. And in Dubai, if you go there, there is a new different concept, because it's not specializing in shoes or apparel, but it is a multi-category. They also sell beauty, they sell other categories, also apparel and shoes. But so they are testing this concept, and this is also interesting because, I mean, Poland is exporting this know-how, these skills, these ideas to a very rich and innovative market like the Middle East. Let's go to the last part, the innovation for enhanced experience. Of course, there is our consciousness of the environment. Of course, there is the power and importance of time and simplicity in experience of customers. That means also the more rational part, if you want. But then there is also the emotional part. That means the experience. What are the emotions that you can have in the shopping process? And this is still more important, of course. So let's look to some examples that are working, trying to connect with customers, to create a very emotional kind of process and of environment in the store. And let's go to Brazil and to São Paulo. Ibirapuera, it's a park. It's the most popular park in São Paulo. São Paulo is a very big town of, I think, almost 20 million people living there. And actually, Brazilians are having a very active lifestyle. I for sure much more about Italian lifestyle. I don't know in Poland, but in Italy we are improving, but we are more lazy compared to the to Brazilian. And what is the one of the recipe for retail? The recipe for retail is traffic. We are struggling everywhere in the world to improve our traffic in the stores, on the digital channels, having more people coming to us. So if you have a place where there is a natural traffic, this park is hosting thousands and thousands of people every day going there for running. There are some gym facilities, there are courts, you can do a lot of different sports. Why not to open the retail within this place? And so we have Centauro, that is one of the Brazilian leader, that has opened Arena Centauro in the park. It's a big flagship store that also it's close to the target or the heart of their customers, that are the people that are active people. But also for this very special location, there are some very special features. So for instance, you have within the store, this flagship, the simulation of the sport environment. You have big screens that are, of course, projecting the major sports events from all over the world. Also, it's very interesting, they are lending for free some products. So if you need your mat to do yoga in the park, you can loan your mat, you can have a ball. This is something generous, but now generosity is more and more important in order to attract customers and let the customers become loyal because they recognize in you retailers somebody that is not just like in the traditional retail, of course, a player that is selling something, but you are more than that. Of course, you are selling products, but you are taking care of people. This is more and more important, and you can sell much more products if you have loyal customers. So, first of all, let's try to get loyal customers, and then you will see that also your economics will improve very, very quickly. Of course, we have also some possibility of testing systems like this, doing some training, and of course, screen having some information on your uh, performance. But also, this is interesting, you can see on the screen, this is the history of the evolution of the bicycle. So the storytelling, it's also more and more important, not just doing an activity, but also all the information I can put about this activity. And they are also investing money to add new feature in the park outside the store in order to let the people, of course, compared to Poland, Brazil has the advantage that the weather is usually much better, much warmer. So, of course, for the outdoor activities for them, it's easier. And in this case, also they are putting some installation of equipments that people can use for free outside in the park. Let's move to China. China is, it has been in the last years actually one of the best places where to go and learn of retail innovations, especially including, of course, technologies and new systems. And of course, luxury is a big, big market in China for the rich target of Chinese people. Gucci has opened a new flagship store, very, very interesting, very new. It's starting from outside. Of course, here Gucci is, as you know, an Italian brand of the luxury. So outside they're using these beautiful and very expensive marbles coming from Italy for presenting the store. And inside the store, you have this very special kind of outfit because all the walls are actually some digital walls in which the images are constantly changing with a super high definition and also with some very strange and weird and effective, impactful program of images that are mixing the Italian Renaissance architecture that is sort of recalling the heritage of the brand with the landscape of the Chengdu region, because it also is interesting. They didn't open this store in Shanghai, on Hong Kong, or Beijing, the big, big and more known cities of China, but Chengdu, it is a big city, but it's in the middle of China. I was there for a very incredible trip I took in the beginning of the 90s. At that time, China was much different from now. But I have to say that was already there a very interesting and cultural place, very developed. So this is also a way of course, engaging people and creating enhanced experience. Completely different business. We go back to US. Babylist I'm sure that also in Poland, like now everywhere, we have the baby list. That means the list that the new parents are creating for suggesting possible gifts to receive from friends and relatives. And like the other case, in this case also, the idea was starting, it was just, it was a lady that was waiting for her kid, first kid. She wanted to create a baby list, it was 2011, but she was really frustrated because it was very complicated. So she was a manager at Amazon, and so that she had already in mind, she was creating her own platform, testing the platform with friends and relatives. It was working very well. She understood there was a market opportunity. She was launching Babylist that now is a huge success. From the starting, they served over 8 million customers. So we are talking actually. And the business is very simple because in the end, you see here the store, but this is launched very recently in 2023. But from 2011 and 2023, they were just operating online, like the e-commerce, and the system. It's a platform. So actually, customers can decide to put in the list any kind of products, and Babylist receives a fee commission from the retailers for any purchase. So it's very simple. But also Babylist, as we have seen also before, is conscious that it's important to arrive to the physical retail. So last year they opened in Los Angeles this big flagship 1,500 square meter on 2 floors, in order for the parents, before deciding which products to put in the list, to touch the products, to test the products. Okay, so if you want to decide which kind of I don't know how do you call them, the kids trolley to put in the list, you can go there and try them, and of course with some employees to understand better the feature, the characteristic. For your seat in the car, you have this kind of simulation of the car and the seat, so you can test how to put it in a seat of the car. And then it's very simple. In this showroom, you don't buy anything because baby list is not about buying, but it's a kind of, it's about creating your own list in a platform. So with every product, we have got I don't know, I think about 60 brands. And among them, there are also Italian brands, of course, like Kiko, that it's a very popular brand all over the world. Every product has got a QR code, so it's very simple. Customers are going around, are scanning the QR code of the products that goes immediately in their big list. And also the engagement is important. So, for instance, there is the name game you can see in the middle, the couples that are discussing about deciding what name to give for the boy or the girl that is coming. And so it's a kind of game, you can be involved, it's funny. Or you can see on the right, you know, the baby bouncer you can put in your list, but also they've created an adult size baby bouncer in order to let the parents go there and play, take pictures, selfies, videos. This is also very important for social media, so you can put immediately your experience in Instagram, on TikTok, on the main social media, and of course, creating a buzz and visibility, and for the brand, in this case for Babylist. And also you have here, this is the system that I was explaining. You go there, it's very simple to use the QR codes and then to create your list. We are going to finish and then to open up the discussion. I think this is one of the last cases. It's very interesting case because it's coming from Japan, this store that is Tokyo, but actually, of course, it's a US brand. and it's Jordan. It's Air Jordan, this brand that was launched by Nike many years ago and becoming actually an incredible success, because we are talking about more than 5 billions of revenues of this brand in a year. So you can imagine how many products, and it is so known that now you don't find the name of the store outside. You just find the logo that is actually the image of the cult basketball star Michael Jordan jumping, and that's why they call it the flight, word of flight, because it's the word of flying. Because actually, if you remember him or you can imagine him, he was really jumping very, 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 very high. And it's interesting that the entrance is like the entrance of going to a basketball stadium. It's very emotional, because you go there, you feel like not going in a store, but like being an athlete going in a stadium. And this also has got digital features, so the colors are changing, and actually, yeah, you can see. So in the meantime, you are crossing this corridor. Actually, you are entering in emotional state that is very strong, and it's very important because, as you can imagine, I'm sure you know it because it's your business and you are expert in this, if we are able to put our customers in a high emotional state, automatically the importance of price is decreasing. So you can sell more, we can do upselling, you can increase the conversion rate of our customers, because they are kind of, in this case, they are flying into the clouds. Then, of course, after the corridor, you arrive in the store. The store is full with all the last models that are constantly launched in the market. Michael Jordan, of course, is still a partner of the brand. That's the key of success, because Michael Jordan stopped to play, I think, 15 years ago, but it's still very, very popular. There are series on Netflix. Actually, also the very young population, people know him, even if they didn't see him playing because they were not born at that time. And as you can see, in the end, also we have some memorabilia that are original uh, objects that are celebrating actually the cult of Michael Jordan and also of the brand. So this is a part again to be immersed in the emotions. And again, if we immerse people in emotions, it's actually much more easy to sell, so to convert, to increase the ticket, to do upselling, and to arrive to sell also very expensive issues, because as you can imagine here, the prices are very important. But also efficiency. This is interesting. Of course, there is a lot of click and collect, so the store is also. This is important. We think that today's stores must be, we say, polyglot, able to speak different languages. That means we have these three main trends: sustainability, hyper efficiency, enhanced experience. But why not working in the same store with the three of the concepts? So in this case, we are talking about emotions at a maximum level, but also the efficiency. If you have bought on your mobile a pair of shoes, you don't have much time, you can go there and very quickly arrive to be served with your purchase and go out. So it's something that you also spend just a few minutes for this part. And also the customization is more and more important. Nike was one of the leader in this, starting with the possibility. I remember the first time in Chicago, more than 30 years ago, the beginning of the 90s, the flagship in the Magnificent Mile of Chicago that was launching, the idea of customizing the sneakers. And of course, since then, many improving the process has been done, and we have it in this flagship. There is also a content creation studio. This is actually quite new, on the contrary, compared to customization, but it's more and more important. And again, I have to say, we don't have here the example, but another Polish example that was really striking me was the our goal concept, that is the commerce about football of this Polish family that has been launched. I'm sure you know them. They were starting in the online, opening stores. We were visiting with Agnieszka. Their store in Warsaw was actually very, very interesting. And also them, they were having this kind of content creation studio. What does it mean? Since social media are more and more important, we must start as retailers to become not just in the hand of our customers creating some spontaneously created contents, but we must create our contents and use all the channels to make these contents visible. And why don't use the stores to create the content? This is interesting because the store becomes a kind of theater. Customers in the store can go and look at the content creation. Content creation, of course, always involve very important people, VIP people, influencers, that can be sport people, like in the case of Jordan, can be journalists, can be social media stars, celebrities. So this is something creating again buzz again the store around the store, and a lot of possibilities of creating more traffic. So creating events that attract traffic. So this is interesting for this world of fly concept, but I really was impressed because I found it in Warsaw, and again in Italy we still don't have this kind of concept. So another point in which the Polish market I found it was more advanced than the Italian market. And finally, what is very important, what we call the glocalism concept. The glocalism concept means to mix the global of the Nike, of the Jordan Air Jordan, of the World of Flight. By the way, the World of Flight, this is the second store in the world after the first one that was opened in Milan. This is also interesting. Nike decided to open in Milan the first of these stores, but also, so the global concept, the global brand, but also don't forget that it's very important to create the link with the local territory, the local region, the local town. So in this case, what Nike did was to engage the Darenbergs, that is actually the name of a Japanese artist that was creating this specially made very attractive and strange images with these huge sneakers that are exposed in the store. And also a part of the assortment is local. So we have a line of t-shirts that are just being produced and just being sold for this store that has been opened in Shibuya, that is one very trendy borough in Tokyo. And actually, so it's actually, if you want, it's also kind of proud for the Japanese and the Tokyo people, customers, to find some very special products just for them.